Infosys, the Indian IT services empire that built Bangalore. In 1981, 7 engineers sitting in a cramped apartment in Pune made a decision that would transform not just their lives, but an entire nation. With just $250 borrowed from their wives' savings, Narayana Murthy, Nandan Nilekani, S. Gopalakrishnan, S. D. Shibalal, K. Dinesh, N. S. Raghavan, and Ashok Arora founded Infosys Technologies. They had no office, no clients, and no clear path to success. What they did have was an audacious vision to prove that an Indian software company could compete with the best in the world while maintaining the highest standards of corporate governance. That $250,000 would eventually grow into a $15 billion empire that didn't just build a company, but built an entire industry that today employs over 4.5 million people across India. This is the story of how 7 middle-class engineers created modern India's first global technology brand and transformed Bangalore from a sleepy pensioner's paradise into the Silicon Valley of Asia. The story begins with Narayana Murthy's frustrating experience at his previous job at Patni Computer Systems, where he felt constrained by the company's approach to business and employee treatment. Born in a small town in Karnataka, Murthy had studied electrical engineering at the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, and later earned a master's degree in computer science. His vision for Infosys was radical for its time: create a company that would be transparent, ethical, and employee-friendly while competing globally in the emerging software services market. The founding team pooled together $250, with Murthy's wife, Sudha Murthy, who was working as an engineer at Telco, contributing the majority of the capital from her savings. They registered the company as Infosys Consultants Private Limited in July 1981, operating out of Murthy's apartment bedroom in Pune. For the first year, they had no revenue, no clients, and faced rejection after rejection from potential customers who were skeptical about trusting critical software work to a startup with no track record. The founders survived on borrowed money and the unwavering belief of their families, particularly the wives who supported their husbands' entrepreneurial dreams despite the financial uncertainty. The breakthrough came in 1982 when Infosys landed its first client, Data Basics Corporation in New York, for a project worth $5,000 to develop software for maintaining information about computer parts and products. However, getting the project was only half the battle. Murthy faced a Kafkaesque nightmare trying to get foreign exchange approval from the Reserve Bank of India to import a computer needed for the project. The bureaucratic process took 8 months, during which the client nearly canceled the contract. This experience shaped Murthy's resolve to build a company that would help liberalize India's economy and prove that Indian companies could be globally competitive. By 1983, the company had moved to Bangalore, attracted by the city's pleasant climate, educated workforce from the Indian Institute of Science, and the presence of public sector technology companies like Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and Bharat Electronics Limited. The move to Bangalore proved prescient, as the city would become the epicenter of India's IT revolution. In their early years, Infosys focused on developing software applications for clients in the United States, leveraging the cost arbitrage between Indian and American software developers while maintaining high-quality standards. The late 1980s marked Infosys's transformation from a small consulting firm to a serious software services company. In 1987, they established their first international office in Boston, Massachusetts, recognizing that proximity to clients was crucial for building trust and understanding requirements. The company's revenue grew from $100,000 in 1984 to over $1 million by 1988. Murthy instituted several practices that would become hallmarks of the Indian IT industry: hiring fresh engineering graduates from top Indian institutes, training them intensively in both technical skills and soft skills, including English communication, and then deploying them on client sites in the United States and Europe. This model, later known as the global delivery model, revolutionized the software services industry by combining the cost advantages of offshore development with the relationship benefits of on-site presence. In 1988, Infosys moved to its first proper office building in Bangalore and began expanding its workforce beyond the 7 founders. The company's culture, heavily influenced by Murthy's values, emphasized meritocracy, transparency, and ethical behavior. Unlike many Indian businesses of that era, Infosys maintained detailed financial records, paid taxes honestly, and treated employees fairly, setting new standards for corporate governance in India. The 1990s began with India's economic liberalization, which proved to be a watershed moment for Infosys. The dismantling of the license Raj system and the opening up of the Indian economy to foreign investment and trade created unprecedented opportunities for companies like Infosys. In 1992, the company changed its name to Infosys Technologies Limited and began preparing for public listing. The founders made a revolutionary decision for Indian standards. They would give equity stakes to employees, creating the concept of employee stock ownership plans in India. When Infosys went public on the Bombay Stock Exchange in February 1993, it raised $14 million and created India's first technology millionaires among its employee base. The IPO was oversubscribed by more than 55 times, reflecting the market's confidence in the company's prospects. The timing was perfect as American companies were beginning to face the Y2K challenge, needing massive amounts of software maintenance and upgrade work. Infosys positioned itself as the solution to this problem, offering high-quality services at a fraction of the cost of local providers. By 1995, the company's revenue had crossed $10 million, and it had over 700 employees working on projects for more than 50 clients across North America and Europe. The late 1990s saw Infosys emerge as the poster child of India's IT boom and the primary architect of brand India in technology services. The company went public on NASDAQ in 1999, becoming the first Indian company to be listed on America's premier technology stock exchange. The listing raised $70 million and gave Infosys access to global capital markets, enabling rapid expansion. Under the leadership of Nandan Nilekani, who took over as CEO from Murthy in 2002, the company standardized and scaled its operations using a proprietary methodology called the Global Delivery Model. This model involved breaking down complex software projects into components that could be developed offshore in India and on-site at client locations, connected through sophisticated communication technologies. Infosys created a campus culture in Bangalore that became legendary in the industry, with its sprawling facilities featuring world-class amenities including gyms, food courts, recreation centers, and training facilities that could accommodate thousands of employees simultaneously. The company's training center, known as Mysore Campus, became the world's largest corporate training facility, capable of training 14,000 employees at any given time. By 2000, Infosys revenue had reached $203 million, with over 5,000 employees, and the company had established development centers in Chennai, Pune, and Hyderabad, spreading the IT revolution across multiple Indian cities. The new millennium marked Infosys' evolution from a successful Indian company to a global technology services powerhouse that fundamentally changed how the world viewed Indian business capabilities. The company's success in solving the Y2K problem for hundreds of clients established its reputation for handling complex, mission-critical projects. This success opened doors to larger engagements involving enterprise resource planning implementations, custom application development, and IT consulting services. In 2004, Infosys became the first Indian company to ring the opening bell at NASDAQ, symbolizing India's arrival on the global technology stage. The company's market capitalization exceeded $20 billion, making it more valuable than many established American technology companies. Infosys' success inspired thousands of entrepreneurs and established the template for the Indian IT services industry. Companies like Tata Consultancy Services, Wipro, HCL Technologies, and hundreds of smaller firms followed the Infosys model of combining offshore development with global delivery capabilities. The company's emphasis on English-speaking engineering talent from Indian institutes created a massive demand for technical education, leading to the establishment of hundreds of engineering colleges across India. By 2005, the Indian IT industry employed over 1 million people, with Infosys alone employing more than 40,000 professionals across multiple countries. Infosys' impact on Bangalore's transformation cannot be overstated. When the company moved to the city in 1983, Bangalore was known primarily as a retirement destination with a pleasant climate and a few public sector companies. The presence of Infosys and its success attracted hundreds of other technology companies to establish operations in the city. The company's sprawling campuses, starting with its headquarters in Electronic City, created a new architectural and cultural paradigm for Indian businesses. These campuses featured international standards of infrastructure, including uninterrupted power supply, high-speed internet connectivity, and modern amenities that were rare in India during the 1990s.
The influx of high-paying technology jobs transformed Bangalore's real estate market, with new residential complexes, shopping malls, restaurants, and entertainment venues sprouting up to cater to the growing population of young professionals. The city's infrastructure struggled to keep pace with this rapid growth, leading to traffic congestion and urban planning challenges that persist today. However, the economic benefits were undeniable. Bangalore became India's fastest growing major city, with per capita income levels significantly higher than the national average. The presence of Infosys and other IT companies also attracted global technology giants like IBM, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon to establish major operations in Bangalore, further cementing its status as India's technology capital. By 2010, Infosys had achieved virtually every milestone the founders had dreamed of, and many they hadn't dared to imagine. The company's annual revenue exceeded $4.8 billion, making it one of the world's largest technology services companies. With over 113,000 employees across more than 30 countries, Infosys had become a truly global organization while maintaining its Indian roots and values. The company's success had created enormous wealth for its founders, employees, and shareholders, with the original $250 investment generating returns that measured in the billions. More importantly, Infosys had proved that Indian companies could compete on quality, innovation, and reliability, not just on costs. The company's rigorous quality processes, including achievement of AEI CMM Level 5 certification and Six Sigma methodologies, set new benchmarks for the global software industry. Infosys' success story became a case study in business schools worldwide and inspired a generation of entrepreneurs not just in India but across emerging markets. The company has successfully navigated multiple economic downturns, including the dot-com crash of 2001 and the global financial crisis of 2008, proving the resilience of its business model. The Infosys stock had delivered compound annual returns of over 25% to its shareholders over 2 decades, making it one of the best performing stocks in the world during this period. The legacy of Infosys extends far beyond its impressive financial metrics or its role in transforming Bangalore into a global technology hub. The company fundamentally altered how the world perceived Indian business capabilities and professionalism. Before Infosys, Indian companies were largely seen as providers of low-cost, low-skilled services. Infosys proved that Indian companies could handle the most sophisticated technology challenges for the world's largest corporations while maintaining the highest standards of corporate governance and business ethics. The company's success created a multiplier effect that lifted the entire Indian technology industry, with former Infosys employees founding hundreds of companies and taking leadership positions across the global technology ecosystem. The Infosys Mafia, as former employees are sometimes called, includes CEOs of major corporations, successful entrepreneurs, and technology leaders who have continued to build on the foundation that Murthy and his co-founders established. The company's emphasis on employee stock ownership created India's first technology millionaires and established the principle that wealth creation should be shared with those who contribute to a company's success. Today, as India continues to be the world's largest destination for technology services and Bangalore remains the undisputed capital of this industry, the influence of those 7 engineers who started with $250 in 1981 continues to shape the dreams and aspirations of millions of young Indians who see technology entrepreneurship as a path to transforming not just their own lives but their nation's destiny.